Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Skills Go Up Devlog. This is the 10th episode in this series, and it's a bit of a short changelog this time because I spent most of the week working on a single extremely large task. Now, last episode I did say, I believe I said at least, that I would try to focus on a skill this week. I kind of did in a roundabout way. But to start things off, you might notice this shape on the ground. I don't know how well it'll show up in YouTube compression, but I did try to add clouds. They only go on the ground right now, I think. But, yeah, I'm not sure how to make them work with the other big feature I worked on, which is buildings. We have buildings, and unlike what I thought, for now, theoretically, you can go into them without changing rooms. I say theoretically because there are some performance issues related to the system. But they're not performance issues that necessarily can't be worked around. So we have this here platform here. We have some stairs. You can go underneath the stairs. You can go underneath the platform. I need to make this platform fade out like this does. But yeah, we have a ladder here. You can climb up the ladder to go upstairs. The guy can't attack me upstairs. It's all nice. We can climb back down the ladder. Go out here. We have another building here. This one has a little scaffolding thing. Little interior there. We got some more buildings. Oh, we have the door on the other side. We have a rug. We've got some windows. I've got the mouse in the middle of the screen. Let me fix that. All right. The buildings are all kind of squeezed together because at first I was still using the original map size and I had to expand it. But yeah, we have this one. This one's got, I think that's a painting there. It's a fireplace, a mirror, and a different shape of window. This building's on top of the other building. We have this building. This building has a fireplace with no fire in it. And, of course, another room with a window that you can see into the other room. So the thing about windows is open windows or bars or whatever, you can fire projectiles through. So that's a big thing in theory. But yeah, here we have this. You can see the performance issues. It's because it has to load in the entire house and then cache it and stuff. There's ways around it. I've just not done the math on how it would affect a full-size game to know. But I really do like this because, okay, yeah, ignore this. In real game, they won't be next to each other. But we can get up on the roof. See, these first buildings were just tests. This was the building where things got serious. I just shoved everything into this. So we have little balconies here. You can go upstairs. That balcony is blocked by the stairs, but don't worry about that. We got a balcony there. That's a lower floors balcony, so we can't go on it. But this balcony's on this floor. We have another balcony on here. You can see everything. Okay, that on the roof there is not supposed to be there. I thought I'd fix that, but it keeps coming back. But yeah, here's the roof. You can see why this was a big project and took most of the week. We can go there. That's not it, though. So this was the big reason why we needed buildings for the skill, because this is the tentative treasure hunter, whatever they're called. I have a name for them, but basically the treasure hunter skill, ignore this guy, he's not programmed for floors yet. And now everything's all glitched. Oh no, I forgot, I have a glitch with stairs right now where there's a solid block behind the stairs that I need to fix. Because I was having problems where you could walk onto the stairs like that and then it instantly teleport you downstairs and the block's just in the wrong place right now. But anyway, so what I was saying, it's the League of Treasure Hunters, I think is what they're called. But regardless, it's a skill, the Treasure Hunter skill, and I needed a base. And I was like, you know what, I can't really do maps or anything if we don't actually have a base. Not a base, a building system. I guess the base building system. But you gotta have houses. I needed to figure it out. And I really didn't feel like doing the whole placing little 16 by 16 tiles to make individual buildings and making a million tiles. So this is all generated on the fly. You can make a house of any shape or size. Theoretically, I could do 100 floors. I don't know what that would do to the engine. Probably a bad idea, especially in its current iteration. And there's still some bugs because this is a very complicated system. I haven't really tested. The one thing you might notice, I've not placed actual furniture. We've only got things on the walls and non-solid things like rugs. That's because I haven't actually even tested placing anything upstairs yet. I had to add a whole z-index system to the XY coordinates. On the plus side, flying stuff now uses Z, which opens up a lot of opportunities, actually. Also, there's a bird down there. We'll talk about him in a second. But yeah, the Z-index thing for flying is great because it means we don't have to rely on weird object height hacks. Now, flying stuff can fly over roofs. We can have arrows go up and down. It could fly through a window, technically, if you had an open window. All sorts of cool stuff like that is theoretically possible now that flying is done with Z. And we can go on over here, find the flying guy. There he is. Yeah, he's got a little shadow now that shows his actual location, because how Z works is it might look like I'm moving upwards slightly on the screen there, but I'm actually not. It's all virtual. In reality, I'm still on the XY coordinate at the same... Well, technically, I'm at the spot where the ladder is, in there, whenever I go up. And then when I'm down, I go slightly below. But the point is, like, this is technically all in the same little floor plan right here. And when you go upstairs, it just shifts you visually and does all the math to figure it out. But you're technically still there. So that's what the shadow shows, is where it technically actually is in the real world, which is nice. Very nice. Oh, we have this gazebo. Was that from last time? I don't remember. I don't even remember at this point if that was part of this week's building system or if that was a last week thing. But anyway, let's get over to this bird. So this bird, let me read the name. It's the Alicanto. This is a mythical bird. It runs away if you get too close, and I got too close, so I will hopefully despawn it and then respawn it. I'm not very good at figuring out how far I have to go to make something despawn, but yes, he is back. So the thing about the Alicanto is that it eats gold and silver. And if you kill it, it'll drop a gold or silver ore right now. In the future, it's a bird that's theoretically supposed to lead you to treasure. And so the idea is you would have to sneak around and follow it to find where the treasure is. So it's a treasure hunter-related bird. That's why it exists now. If it gets off screen while it's running away from you, it despawns. So that's why I'm trying to keep it on the screen. I'm probably going to change that mechanic in the future, but it is just the easiest way to make a runaway mechanic in a single, like, little quick session. I like him, though. It's a real mythical bird. I've taken some liberties because it doesn't have, like, a specific design, so I kind of based it off a sentry bird, but made it all gold. The copper green wing is a thing, though, and there's a silver variant as well, so it can be either one. Oh, I forgot. If he gets in the corner, he can't escape. And now we can just look at him. And now I can kill him. We'll use lightning. Boom. Oh, gosh, he's mad. Yeah, once you hit him, he becomes enraged and he won't run away anymore. So, but yeah, there we go. We got our gold ore. Just a temporary drop because I didn't feel like making new items for this update. But the other thing he uses is a new system. It's actually an evolution of the existing aura system for damage reduction. So he reduces all hits by 1. So technically with melee, I can't even hurt him because right now we only do 1 damage with melee. So that's why I had to use lightning. And this guy, this is the Iron Snail. He actually has an even more powerful version. He reduces damage by 3, but only for archery and melee. So magic, he still takes full damage. So we can just zap him away. He has a ton of health. He drops an iron ore. I just added him for fun. He's probably going to be in caves. I don't know. Just felt like adding another thing. This guy is the Carbuncle. So this is another, I guess you would say real mythical, because I didn't just invent the idea of a Carbuncle. But similar to the Alicanto, there's no specific form that it takes. Like, there's a general idea. It could be fireflies even, but the red gem on the forehead was a big thing, and it's usually like a small mammal or lizard type thing. So I based it on an extinct animal that's kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like a kangaroo rat, but with a droopy tapir nose. Is that how it's pronounced? Tapir? Yeah. But with a droopy nose and a long rat tail. So that's my best approximation of what it would look like. Not the best, but this thing, This thing will attack you. He'll beat you up. He uses similar code to the rabbit, obviously. It was funny because when I was researching, I was not looking for things like rabbits, and then I found 2 things like rabbits in a row that I wanted to add. So he's the first one. And then the other one is the Mirajack here. Once again, based on a real myth. This time, though, the name is not taken from the myth. The Mirajack is the Al Mirage, I believe it's called. No relation to the word mirage, but it's a mythical rabbit-like or etc. Yellow rodent thing with a horn that is supposed to be extremely scary. It's supposed to scare everything away. We don't actually have a good mechanic in the game for scaring stuff right now, so it's basically just a souped-up killer rabbit. I just thought it was really funny that I made the killer rabbit for fun and then ended up having 2 enemies in a row that used that exact set of mechanics. It's just really useful. But yeah, he's supposed to be rare. He's got some lore reasons for existing. He's also related to the Treasure Hunter Guild. Basically, you're going to get a codex that tracks all the treasures, and it's going to be made... The pages will be made from the... whatever it is you make vellum from of an animal. Is it the skin? I don't know. But the point is, the vellum of these guys makes the book. Now, you don't actually have to make your own book, and I haven't worked out exactly where these guys will be, but I think in the map, there's a middle island in the center of the game world, I guess you would say. It's not the planet, because there's more to the planet than just the continents in the game. But the point is, he might be on that island. I'm not entirely sure yet. Carbuncles, I'm also not entirely sure if they might be cave things or on that island as well. Oh yeah, they can fire at you, actually, as well. That's what makes them special. The fire does like 4 damage, so it's actually one of the scarier things I've added to an enemy. We still need to do proper balance runs on everything, though. Right now, everything's just kind of silly. But that is it for the new entities, just 4 ones. Basically, what happened was I spent like 4 days working on the buildings, and I was like, you know what, I really need something else to do this week, so I made those guys. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. But anyway, so what I want to do is one of these houses... Oh, I can never remember which house it is. One of these houses, the fireplace... Well, oh, this one. Okay. So that one, it doesn't have smoke on the chimneys. So I added a new spell just for testing, really, but it's kind of a funny spell. Conjure doves. So, you know, pull a dove out of a hat. Well, that's what this does. Birds fly under houses right now. Don't worry about it. But yes, so chimneys without a bit of smoke coming out of them are bird perches now, which is pretty cool. There's also an actual bird perch object. I forget which house I placed it on. Oh, it's this one, actually. I think. Maybe not. Point is, the birds can go up there. They don't scare very easily when they're up there either, because they're technically really far away from you. If they land really high up on a house. Like, this is a 1-story, so he'll still get scared. But if they're on a 2-story, I think they won't even care if you walk around underneath them. Or if you're inside the building. They don't care. They know there's a wall between them, and they won't run away. In theory. That guy ran away. But it's at least coded to check. And sometimes it works. That's the point. But we can go over here. So I made it where the birds can land on the lodestone shrine. They can land on all these trees, which they already could, but look at them all go. It's a fun spell. Yeah, it's pretty good. What else was there? I thought I made them land on something else. Oh, the gazebo. That was the other thing I made him land on. So just spawn a bunch of birds. Yeah, there he is on the gazebo. It was really annoying to test the birds landing on stuff, and I didn't feel like placing a million birds, so I just made this silly spell. Like most things in the game, now that I've added it, I'm probably going to think of a genius use for this concept in a week, because that's how pretty much everything that I add feels like it goes. Like, I add one thing, and then 5 days later, I'm like, you know what? The code from that is exactly what I need for this great idea. And it keeps happening over and over and over. I can't explain it at this point. But anyway, there is one more thing left to show off, and I've gone too far for it. I really got to fix these lag spikes. They are annoying. Taste bird. But anyway, so this is a warp stone. So warp stones are a new solution for teleporting. Warp stones will probably be kind of like the low-level teleport option, and they'll also help bypass the teleport distance restrictions that I'm thinking about, because there won't be any for warp stones. But the idea is you find one, you have to charge it using something. This one requires level 1 warp and a basic Pyco shard, so not very hard considering I made myself start with a bunch of Pyco shards anyway. But once you have activated one of them, let's see, where is the teleport for it? I can never remember. It's the one that looks like the warp stone. So yeah, we have the teleport. It lets you choose which one you're teleporting to. Obviously, right now, the menu's too tiny because in the final game, there would be a bunch of options. But right now, it's just one, so it looks a bit silly. But you can hit X to teleport. That guy interrupted the teleport immediately because he's a jerk. All right, anyway, let's do that again. So you can teleport, and it'll just teleport you to there. We've seen teleporting before. All right. So now, what we need, right, I was going to show how this works. So, okay, that's not what I wanted to do. How do I do that? I know I can do that. Did I break this? I thought I could hold X to choose. It was working before. Oh, no, it's from here, right? Now that it's not, I thought it was still working like Pyco forms, but it's not. It's its own thing. But I can press 1 here, and it puts the actual teleport on there. So now when I press 3, it just does that. Yeah, earlier on, it's had a default teleport, and it didn't, you had to use the context menu to select it. Now, it's not like, which one is it? I've got too many now. Oh, does Conjure Mage do that now? Yeah, Conjure Mage has that. So yeah, it's not like that where it has a default type that you cast when you hit X. Now it always brings it up, which I should probably just add the context menu to avoid confusion like that in the future, now that I think about it. But yeah, that is actually, I believe, everything I added, unless I forgot to add something to the list. I have been thinking going forward, at some point I'm going to have to stop showing every single thing I add, and it's probably going to be around the point I actually start mapping, which hopefully, basically, the biggest thing holding me back now is just finalizing how buildings work, because until I'm certain that buildings work well, I can't really move forward with mapping, because if I had to change to a tile system or a system where you go in a door and teleport to another room, like that could change the actual physical size of the buildings significantly in the map, doing either of those, because obviously there would be no reason to make a house this big, usually, unless we wanted it to take up this much space. But if you didn't need to, why would you? The other big limitation you might have noticed, there's no downstairs right now. We cannot go to a basement. I would have to still use doors. Now, what you could do is you could have it where like the basement door leads to basement level 100 technically, and then have it go up from there. But basically have a system where basements could all be one room and then upstairs could all be one room or something. I don't know. It's theoretically possible. The idea of actually making basements or caves or anything in the same map is too scary, I think, for me to do in this game engine. I think I'm already pushing it with what I've got right now. So we'll probably keep it that way. And honestly, this is fine because, I don't know, I feel like a screen transition to going underground just feels good in some ways. It's funny, but I think it kind of does. It makes it feel like you're really going somewhere. It makes it a bigger deal. But I do need to actually add basements, though, because they're a big part of house design. Not so much where I live, but in games, definitely. But yeah, that is it for this week. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing next week. I'd like to make progress on the treasure hunter skill itself, now that we have the building. The biggest thing I need to do is just test entities and objects upstairs. Like, technically, this Mira Jack is a bad example, but technically other enemies work with it, theoretically. They kind of were. If I could find one that would follow me, which I don't know. This guy will follow me. This is the guy I was using to test, but I was testing him going up that thing, and it doesn't work very well. The stairs are very difficult for them right now. I've had a lot of trouble with the stair physics and stuff. Yeah, he can follow me inside, and theoretically, at least, he can follow me upstairs. Yeah, see, he's upstairs now. What I don't know is what happens if I leave. I'm guessing he'll be drawn on top of it. Yeah, I figured as much. But he is actually using the collisions and stuff for upstairs. That is actually programmed in. It's just the mirror jack hopping ignores Z index entirely. So I think he's technically hopping around on Z index 0, and you can just see him there. But anyway, I believe that is everything for this week. So I'll see you guys next week when we find out what I've done, and hopefully I fix these lag spikes when I walk near buildings. Hopefully. Bye!